watching ShortGlassMedia. This is Hourglass. My name's Rob Davidson.
I'm Carrie, Heath.
And I'm Spencer Vogel.
Today we're talking about superheroes. So, recently, Ben Affleck was made the new Batman. How you feeling about that?
I think it's a horrible idea. I know what you were saying earlier, that they need star power, and he will provide that, but Batman is, like, beloved superhero, and he's got a dark side, and you made a good point before about, like, this inner strength that has nothing to do with, like, physicality, necessarily. And he doesn't have that.
I'm flip-flopping, though. I'm going to go pro.
You're
go
pro
pro?
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck.
Did you see Daredevil?
No.
Oh.
Well, that's maybe
why.
you should watch it and then come back to it.
You'll come back.
I just loved it when he was in that movie, and he was that janitor who was really smart.
That was Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting.
Oh!
Which
one's Ben Affleck?
The tall, dark-haired one who was in that
sucks.
horrid film Gigli. Okay, so are you back? Are you back on the no Ben Affleck boat now?
Oh, he's terrible.
Okay, so instead of Ben Affleck, I was thinking about this, and I think that John Hamm would actually be a really interesting choice. He's got enough support behind him, maybe because of all of his because of his time on Mad Men, and he's got those great chiseled looks, and I think that you have to picture how his jaw would look when the rest of his face is covered, and I think it would look pretty awesome. And he's got really good acting chops. He can pull off the dark side. He can pull off that strength. I think he would be a good choice. Him or Carl Urban would also be an interesting choice.
I think Warner Brothers had to get somebody with a little bit of star power, because you look across the way at Marvel, and they've got a lot of star power with the Avengers. So I actually would have gone with Ryan Gosling, because I think they could play him as a young Bruce Wayne. I think he's got good acting. I think he'd just be the right choice. He'd be awesome in it.
I said Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen has a quiet intensity about him. I could see him as the traumatized Bruce Wayne very well, and also when the guy playing Batman is in Batman mode, it's a lot different, and he's kind of acting the costume as opposed to himself. Yeah, and all you really have to do is talk really low. And say threatening things.
That's Matt Damon was actually saying he came out and defended Ben Affleck, and he said, the hard part isn't playing Batman; it's playing Bruce Wayne. Yeah. So so you got to play that debonair playboy type character, and Ben Affleck can maybe do that really well. Who knows? One rumor that I did hear was that Bryan Cranston might be Lex Luthor, and for that I'm on board. I think Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor would be amazing.
We did a big jump here, though. Okay, you went that. Now we're in Superman.
No. This is in the same movie. Batman. Yeah, this is Superman, and Batman is one of the main characters.
So it's the Superman.
So it's the same movie. So
the follow-up, right?
This is Man of Steel 2.
Man of Steel 2. Yeah.
How
so Batman would be.
Superman's an alien, and Batman. I mean, Batman knows his stuff, but he's still a human. He doesn't have superpowers.
I think what they're doing is they're setting up the Justice League.
What's that?
That's the DC version of the Avengers.
Okay, that tells me a lot. Is it a bunch of superheroes?
It's a bunch. It's all. Yeah,
we obviously don't know much about comics, Spencer and I.
Yeah, so the Avengers is a team of Marvel superheroes that come together to fight evil.
Oh yeah, right.
So this is the DC version where it's all the DC characters that come together. So Green Lantern could be in it. Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. It could be. Yeah. That's where they're going.
So that's why he brought up Lex Luthor, and I agree with you. Bryan Cranston, first of all, he's so hot right now, and he's amazing. He's fabulous.
Attractive or
No, he's so in right now. Okay. He's the hot thing.
He's
because of Breaking Bad.
Heisenberg.
Yes. Oh my gosh, say my name, Heisenberg. Dude,
I am the danger.
Yeah. I think, and he obviously looks good bald. We've already seen that. And
Lex Luthor is bald,
exactly.
He needs to stop hanging around with so much kryptonite. I mean, clearly it's radioactive, man.
I just want Bryan Cranston to be over Superman and say my name. I think that'd be just funny.
Well, and I think too he would give Lex Luthor a very understated danger, and which I think is needed. You want that real quality and not because I don't think they're going for the comic booky As much as I love the first two Batmans that Tim Burton did, I love those, but they were very comic booky, right? And they're not trying to do that with these, with the Man of Steel ones. Yeah. They're going to be more along the Dark Knight kind of.
Yeah, I'm like the only person who did not care at all for those movies, and like
the Dark Knight ones.
Really?
Didn't care.
Oh.
Nah,
not even the second one?
Nah, I didn't see the second one. I saw the first one, but like, okay.
Dude,
let me put it this way. This is a point I wanted to make about comic book films for ages. Okay, yes, we're definitely in the era of the comic book, and superhero and everything like that. But they made a like Wagnerian opera out of Batman. Okay,
which I love.
I get all the chops and the artistic crap it takes to do that, but this is Batman.
But that's
man.
That's the thing. They're turning that around. They're making it real.
It's not real. There's nothing.
No movies are real.
No. Here's the thing. Okay, realism has no place in a comic book. That's why it's a comic book. Okay, that's why Tim Burton's Batman was awesome, because it was wacky and ridiculous. It had Prince on the soundtrack.
So you don't think, though, that they can take a story from a comic book and give it, like, real brush strokes and make... Why not?
Because it doesn't make any sense, okay?
I thought they made it make really good sense.
The guy would not bother with the bat suit. It would not happen, okay?
You have to change a lot of things in the comic books, because, I mean, you read, like, the comics from the 60s and the 70s, they're all wearing, like, bright colors, and they're doing corny jokes, and it's just
that's what I like.
But it's very dated.
On a movie.
I don't give a damn. That's what I'm saying. That's what I liked. It makes sense to me.
Okay. Well, and what I'm saying is I feel that that's dated, and yes, it has its place, and I love it. But I liked the real aspect of it.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I totally dug it.
Yeah, and they could have given it. I mean, if you want to do like realism and wacky action and dark and intense, don't do Batman. Just write something new. Write something else.
Now you're getting to the core of the problem, is that no one's writing anything new.
Yeah, there's no originality anymore.
Except on the indie circuit, but not in mainstream movies generally.
Yeah, everything is a sequel, everything is a remake, and even movies that shouldn't be remade are being remade. Like, you mentioned earlier, Sound of Music.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Carrie Underwood
as Maria Von Trapp. Horrible. How do you solve a problem like that? Riddle me that.
Well, and then last night I was watching Nightmare Before Christmas, and I was thinking, this is a classic, and one day people are going to want to remake that movie or make it into a live action movie, and it frustrates me because there are movies that should not be touched, that are holy ground that should never be remade, and I think that Nightmare Before Christmas is one of them.
Sure.
That is a classic in our era.
And another side of that same coin, this is something that happened recently that annoys me about American cinema, is that there's a trilogy of books called the Dragon. It's called the Millennium Chronicles, right? The Millennium Trilogy, written by Stieg Larsson, originally in Swedish. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is the American translation of the title of the first. In Swedish, it's like Men Who Hate Women. But they did those three movies in Sweden with Swedish actors in Swedish, and they were amazing. If you read the books, it was such a good move to the screen. I mean, it was spot on. It was amazing.
Yeah. And
within, I don't know, less than a year or something of like the third one coming out. And I love David Fincher. Yeah. David Fincher does the American version. And granted, it had Daniel Craig was Mikhail Blomkvist. You've had that Rooney Mara was the main chick. Yeah. And Christopher Plummer was in it. I mean, it was a great cast. It looked cool. They used freaking Led Zeppelin's Immigration song. Like,
immigrant song.
Thank you. Immigration song. That's a whole different song. Anyway, you're right? Yeah. Sorry. They were members of Led Zeppelin. But my point about that is that apparently Americans can't read subtitles or something, so we take something that's already good, and less than a year after the third one is completed, we have to do it in American? Yeah. Like, what the hell is wrong with us? That kind of stuff drives me crazy. And there are things that shouldn't be touched, and also I feel like there's a period of time that needs to be like adhered to before you decide to redo a movie.
Yeah,
like, give it some
true.
space. Let the decades move along. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
a lot of people had problems with the new Spider-Man series because of that. Like, where you just got done with Tobey Maguire's take on, and granted, like Spider-Man 3, it was emo Peter Parker. Like that was just.
It was like walking down the street. And
like what?
Horrible. It was awful.
But there was only a few years between that.
Give it some time to breathe. We're not even coming from a different perspective in terms of the time. You know, like what you were saying about Fahrenheit 451. The version that was done back like in the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
So sure, now we could do maybe a new version from this time period and from this perspective. But give it some time, people. Do we have anything new to say, really?
No.
That's the question.
So the sand has runneth out, so that is the end of Hourglass. My name is Rob Davidson.
I'm Spencer Vogel.
Carrie Heath.
Thanks for watching ShortGlassMedia. See you next time.